round 10. There's a long way to go now for Hatton to limp into port. Can he survive now? The most worrying moments, the most troubling moments of his career. Another left hook, another right hand. Referee Joe Cortez steps in, and it's all over. The towel comes in as well. Ricky Hatton is on the canvas. Floyd Mayweather screams in exultation as he jumps onto the second rope.
And that, I'm afraid, from a parochial perspective, was that. Matt Garcia is with us, who's a boxing trainer and I think a former fighter, aren't you, Matt?
Trainer, mostly.
Trainer, mostly. OK. What do you make of what you saw this morning? Did it go to plan from Mayweather's point of view? Was this always likely to be the scenario?
Well, I think they expected to win. I think perhaps they expected to win slightly more comfortably, perhaps slightly earlier. Ricky, to his credit, hustled Mayweather. He pushed him, he bullied him through the fight. But the fact is, as a nation, we can be immensely proud of Ricky. We're talking about a guy here in Mayweather who is, as it's been well documented, is pound for pound the greatest fighter, not perhaps just of this generation, but perhaps one or two prior. I mean, he's a phenomenal fighter. His hand speed, he can accommodate any style. His defence is immaculate, and he can deliver enough of a performance that would, effectively do to our man Ricky as he's demonstrated, and that takes some real talent.
Yeah, you mentioned that Ricky hustled. That's his style. He knew he had to try and get in close to Mayweather to try and create a fight rather than necessarily a boxing match, particularly at a weight that gave the other guy an advantage who has a longer reach as well. And yet, even when he got inside those long hands, actually Mayweather was very adept at close quarters fighting as well, wasn't he? Very awkward, a lot of elbows, a lot of holding. It worked for him. Did you, as some did, feel the ref was too cosy early rounds to the American?
It would seem that way. I mean, perhaps we might, as protective of our boy out there, we might feel a little sort of hard done by, perhaps naturally. But I think there was enough. There are many signs there that the referee was a little bit too lenient on Floyd, and deducting the point from Ricky for the backhand or for the shot to the back of the head, which didn't actually connect, was disappointing, particularly as Mayweather in the later round, in the next round, I think was guilty of the same thing and went unpunished.
Yeah, you felt a warning there, perhaps would have been enough, because both fighters were looking to try and establish control of how they wanted the fight to be, and the ref was, for all his experience, he was quick to get involved a lot in those early rounds.
That was peculiar because he's a fantastic referee. Yeah. I mean, this guy has officiated at some fantastic bouts over the years, and it was quite strange. But I think obviously it was to Hatton's to detriment in terms of his approach. He was looking to hustle, to apply the pressure, and to develop a degree of momentum there. But we certainly could have a gripe with the referee, but the long and short of it is that Floyd Mayweather is a fantastic fighter, and we can be immensely proud, I think, of Ricky for his performance overall.
Yeah, and I take the texter's point that are getting in touch, and I wouldn't want for the listeners to think that we're really trying to throw the whole fight into the corner of the referee rather than actually what was one fighter really having the best of another. At the end of the day, this was Mayweather's night, not Joe Cortez's or Ricky Hatton.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why we have to give full credit to both fighters. Both undisputed, both proven champions. And the fact is that on the night, Mayweather proved himself to be the sublime talent that he is, and we have to give him credit. And I think that any suggestion of booing or sort of negative energy towards the anthem there, the American anthem, is disappointing. But I think just reflects the passion that people had for Ricky and the support that they gave him.
A couple of final points I wanted to put. So first, we should mention Amir Khan, who of course, not anywhere near this level yet, but certainly aiming in the right direction, made very short work of Graham Earl, keeps talking about a world title shot in the next year. Is that too quick for him?
I think it might be. I think he's showing tremendous promise, as we all know, but I think we have to. He's still a young guy. I think he has to get a few more bouts under his belt. But certainly, he's certainly, as we know, he's one to look out for. I think he's going to do very well for himself.
And just one final point, just quickly, as a boxing man, from the point of view of sports personality of the year tonight, you've got, I suppose, in the three front runners, Ricky, who's been beaten, Lewis Hamilton, who's been beaten, and Calzaghe, who's not been beaten, and yet most people would probably put Joe third in that list right now.
Which is, that may be to do with PR as much as anything, but it really depends on what the definition of sports personality is in the context of this award. In terms of personality, for me, each of them we can be very proud of. They demonstrated sublime talent and skills to get to the stage they are in their careers. But the fact is, if it comes down to personality, then Ricky Hatton, at the end of the fight, what must be an incredibly soul-destroying, disappointing situation for him, was still able to crack a joke referencing the lucky punch, I think you mentioned.
The fluke, yeah.
So, in terms of personality, my vote would go for Ricky.
Thanks, Matt. Boxing trainer Matt Garcia. Do keep your thoughts coming this morning. All very welcome. 85058.